we go. Welcome, Instagram, Facebook, Zoom. Welcome to day 4. I'm so excited to bring to you the Recode experience, the Superconscious Recode. How was the last week been? Day 1, we introduced you to the work. You found out that you weren't broken. You don't need fixing. We went through structure and finding, what you love. Day 1 was all about the human journey and finding our common denominator isn't actually you. It's structure, which is good news. So we actually went through the 5 steps to how to consciously create and how to become a superconscious creator. So day 1 was really about finding the tools and building the foundations of your understanding about what does it actually mean to be a superconscious creator? What does that life mean? And I'm just going to pin my view. Thank you. So day 1 was really great. Who was here for day 1? Let me know in the chat box or in the comments if you were here for day 1. How awesome was that? Now, day 2, we moved into, really understanding what it meant to be it, to see it, to really go through the 4 core orientational choices. I choose to live a life that I love. I choose to be the predominant creative force of my life. I choose to live my true nature and purpose. And I choose to be healthy and vital. And we went through these 4 core and really felt what it would be like to be in that magnetic moment where you have no resistance to the future and the past, right? So we then went into the Akashic records and downloaded we awakened your skills and abilities through forensic healing. That was awesome. And we actually got clarity on how you make ineffective choices in your life and stay in this problem structure. And we then went on to how to actually make a true choice. What does a true choice is? What's an end result? And how do I make that choice? So that was great. And I set a challenge for you that day. So day 2, there was a challenge of just going into your land of plenty and drafting out some of your choices. And I just want to know how that experience was for you guys. How was that experience of going into your choices, actually choosing and discovering, what it is that you love? And this choices exercise really acknowledges what you love. Am I allowed to have what I love? Right? And day 3, we went into your dysfunction. We went into a deep dive into the 6 sabotaging identities. And we got more information about yourself. We got more information about your awareness. And we're actually able to stretch what you love, stretch those choices, ask some questions that will actually uncover your heart, uncover who you are, your authentic self, what you love in this life. And we went into some of your past values, what had shown up in your life, and moving into, well, what are you valuing moving forward? And when you start to delve into this self-awareness and recognition of your unique thumbprint, you experience this self-awareness, and you're either one of two things, right? You're either like, yep, that's what I love, that's what I want to create. You see the truth in it and you go for it. Or you haven't been listening to your heart. You realized, I haven't been going for what I wanted, what I loved. I've been caught up in my dysfunction, thinking that it's something that I want, but actually it's just a way to fulfill this need to feel loved or worthy or significant, or that I belong. And so you realize you haven't actually been going for what you love. You haven't been listening to your heart. You've been listening to society and what you think is the logical path of where you should be in your life, in whatever age you are. There's this prescribed way that you should live your life. And you haven't actually allowed yourself to have what you love. You haven't allowed yourself to even ask that question. What do I want? What do I love? And am I going for it? Or are you just being this victim to your circumstance? So when you acknowledge what you love, you have a choice to bring that forward. When you know thyself is to know all aspects of you. Know when you're in your dysfunction and know when you're coming from your superconscious. It's about knowing when you're moving between these aspects, because we're never always in our superconscious. We don't live up there. We live in this world, and challenges come up and things happen and we have to adapt. It's not actually the survival of the fittest. It's actually the survival of the ones that can adapt to their environment. They can be more flexible. And this is what is really great about the creative structure, is that when you're going for what you love, it just feels good. It feels easy. We experience this going into your superconscious to create, as opposed to when we go into your dysfunction. We experienced that yesterday. And so we've learned a lot. And today, I actually get to show you a process that is going to help you remove that resistance that stops you. Help you get you in the creative structure, choose what you want, notice where you are, actually create that creative tension. And we're actually going to invite all of those parts and aspects of you into this active experience. We recode that, we give it new information. We connect into the superconscious, we rise above it, we get more information, we bring that down, and we update the software. We update our unconscious. And then you get to move. You get to move and flow towards what you want to create. So today you can actually experience firsthand the Superconscious Recode, and I'm going to mix in there a bit of forensic healing, whatever comes up. I'm just going to leave it open. I've set the intention today to get the most out of this experience for each and every one of you to learn how to connect to your superconscious and to let go. So it's going to be really great. Who here is excited? It's day 4. We've got 1 day left after this. It's been an incredible week. I've stretched myself as a presenter, and you've stretched yourselves as a creator, building your knowledge, and actually we're going to apply the skills now. So I'm going to explain to you, right? When we create, So I just want to make sure I can see properly. So when we create, we move from our current reality and we move to what we love. When we set up, this is the creative structure, right? Now, here, we've got, this is creative tension. And we learned about tension yesterday. So this is the creative tension. We've got this. This is the structure. It's like that rubber band. The rubber band. There's tension between these 2 points, right? The rubber band seeks to resolve. It always wants to move towards the creation, always moving forward. Remember, we're always growing in life. And so as we actually move towards what we love, what we want to create, there's another tension structure that comes up. And this is what we call the egoic agenda. Right? So this is the egoic agenda, and it has another tension structure. It keeps you in your current reality. So as you go towards what you love, we live from this orientation. We set up the creative structure. Your identity in your current reality creates this egoic agenda. And this egoic agenda seeks to stay the same. It doesn't want to change, right? This is your dysfunction. We went into that over the last few days. This is your negative thoughts and feelings. And as you move, the more you move towards what you love, the more this egoic agenda, this tension gets pushed up, right? All of the negative thoughts and feelings. This is called psychological tension, right? So this is a tension structure, this one here. It's strong. And so our focus is always to resolve this egoic agenda, to resolve your dysfunction, to resolve the tension that keeps you here, the fear, the shame, the guilt, anything that will keep you in this structure here. Because energy flows through the path of least resistance. And currently, with all of this egoic agenda, the psychological tension creates this resistance. And the energy will flow there. It's easier to make you feel good about being in fear than it is to actually go for what you want, because it doesn't want to change. This identity doesn't want to change. It wants to stay the same. It's easier to stay the same than it is to change, right? And so it creates this huge psychological tension that gets in the way of you creating. So you get stuck in this structure. You get stuck in the problem-solving structure where you're always trying to fix or improve how you feel incomplete in the current reality. This is how it's been the whole time. This is how it's always been, right? So when we use the recode, we're actually taking the information of your desired reality. Remember, we rise above all of this. We rise above. We go into the superconscious field. We rise above it. We get the information that we need to create, and we bring that down to create. So what we're actually doing through the recode is talking to all aspects of you. Remember, this is part of you. This egoic agenda is part of you. You created all of those beliefs. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. You're insignificant. You don't belong. You know, you created all of these beliefs for some reason, and it kept you safe. It was useful. At some point, it was useful, and we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge this part of you, this aspect of you. It was just doing its job. You see, the unconscious is a faithful servant. It will do exactly what you tell it to do, and you've programmed it to behave this way. So that's exactly what it's doing. The only problem is that we trained ourselves when we were very, very young, when we were 2, 3, really young, 2 or 3 years old. And so we're literally operating at from a childish perspective. And who here wants to change that? Yeah, I think so. I think it's outdated. It's just like any technology. You have to update the firmware, right? You've got to update the operating system. How many times do you have to update your iPhone? Like it almost feels like it's weekly. I just got a message today about it. It's like, oh, already? Okay. So we've got to update our operating system as well. And we do that by rising above, becoming super conscious, getting the information that is needed to create what you desire. And we remove the resistance. When you remove this tension structure, the creative tension remains, and you can easily move to where you want to go. So how does it actually work to talk to these parts? What are we doing in the recode? So we've got this experience called the active experience. In the active experience, you've got your thoughts and feelings. And so this is your unconscious. And this is your self-conscious. So in our active experience is the conversation that we're having now. So it's your active focus point, your present moment. In your active experience, you've got your main personality. Let's use green. So your main personality. In your main personality, your main personality is like your unique you, your quirkiness, the way you go about you, your experiences, your history. And in your main personality, you've actually also got part personalities. So you've got part personalities throughout your active experience. And this is kind of like when you're walking down the street, you're walking a dog, and there's a child. You'll interact with the child differently as you would if you're about to bump into your mother. You would behave and speak, you have different thoughts and feelings about, you're a colleague at work than if you were out to dinner with your best friend, right? So you've got a different part of you and different aspect of you. A part personality is what we call them. And they're just in your active experience, and you just call upon them as you live your life, as you experience life. And it's made up of thoughts and feelings. Now, we've also got dormant memories. So dormant memories that sit outside of the active experience. You're not thinking about these right now. You don't really think of them on a day-to-day basis. But if someone asks you a question, they actually stimulate that part of you, that aspect, and it comes into the active experience. So for example, if I ask you, if you're old enough, if I ask you, do you remember where you were during September 11, 2001? Most of you are of age, and if you weren't, then you're probably told about it. But you know, now all of that information, you've got a memory, you've got thoughts, and you've got feelings about that memory. You're actually calling upon that memory, and it comes into the active experience, and you can tell a story about that. It's the same, you know, what's the first time you remember you rode your bike? You know, there's probably some thoughts and feelings about that memory. So now it's in your active experience. Now it's in your active experience, and there's parts and aspects that come up. So maybe, you know, when you first rode your bike, it was really great, and you know, you fell down a few times, but you eventually got it. Now, and it's just kind of a memory, right? We've also got memories that are traumatic. So traumatic memories that are sitting outside of our active experience and are also unconscious. So these traumatic memories can be of, you know, of your childhood. Perhaps you were attacked by a dog when you were really young, or at any point in your life. And this traumatic memory comes in and it takes over your thoughts and feelings, and you get into fight, flight, or freeze. You know, that's the unconscious response to a traumatic memory. Now, that memory also served a purpose. It kept you alive, right? So the unconscious is just responding to that traumatic memory and the response. And so, for using the dog example, if you now in your adult life, you know, if you haven't addressed this, you go out and you see a dog, and automatically this memory pops in, and your survival instinct goes into, you know, fight or flight, and you just want to run away, or you freeze, or whatever it is, and it takes over your main personality. You know, you're not normally acting like this, but when there's this traumatic memory is activated, this is how it takes over, right? You can't do anything else because it's your unconscious taking over your survival. Think about that and apply it to your entire individuation process and the thoughts and feelings and the memories created when you were a small child, perhaps in your household. You know, your parents might have been fighting about money. There was lots of stress because there wasn't much money around, you know. And think about, you know, when we're from 0 in the womb until 5, we're operating in our unconscious. That's when we're this sponge. We absorb all the information and we make sense of the world. And so whenever an issue comes up and your main personality says, oh, I want to make lots of money, this memory comes up and it remembers, oh, no, money is really bad because when my parents used to fight all the time about money. And back then you probably didn't make sense of it, but your unconscious picked up that, well, money's bad because it creates disharmony in the family. And so as your adult life, you go to make lots of money, you can't understand why you've got this egoic agenda that stops you from making more than a certain amount that is safe. And this is just a cycle. Who here can experience something that's like, oh, that's a pattern in my life. Oh, every time I go for this, I lose something, right? And I had this experience as well with my business. Every time I was about to you know, make it, I would make a lot of money, and then I would just find ways to give it away because it wasn't safe to have more than a certain amount of money. It wasn't safe because the identity wasn't, it was living in the past. It was this traumatic memory. To make things more interesting, we've also got traumatic memories and dormant memories that are passed down through our DNA, our ancestral lineage. So sometimes when your main personality and you want to go for something, whether it be, you know, a really loving relationship or health, there's an ancestral lineage memory that says, you know, all men are violent, or all men are bad. And so, or all women. And so as you go for that relationship, this memory comes in and it takes over, but it's unconscious, remember, because it's an ancestral lineage. And so you're just really, really bad at relationships. So you take it personally, right? You go, oh, it's me. It just must be me. I'm the common denominator. This is where it comes from, right? Oh, it's just me. And so, yeah, sure, it is one aspect of you, right? But it doesn't mean it needs to define you. It doesn't mean that your ancestral memories need to be part of your future, because this is your expression. This is your life. And there's our ancestral lineage is all about survival, you know, passing down we get passed down through our DNA, you know, the color of our eyes and our hair and our body and shape and our metabolism and all of these things in our genes and DNA that create, you know, are passed down, which is useful, right? It's about survival. But we're also passed down memories, traumatic memories. And they're not so useful anymore, because if you think about, I mean, modern living is only not even, I don't know, like 100 years old. Like, it's not even 50. Like, think about 50 years ago, we didn't even have the internet. Like, our lives have changed so much. Technology has really changed our lives so much. We don't need those ancestral survival memories anymore, because we're not running from saber-toothed tigers and hunting, you know. So it's just not useful anymore. So this is what is really magic about the recode, is that it's actually a really gentle process, and it acknowledges all of the parts and aspects. So as we set up the 5 steps, as we go through the 5 steps and we create this structural tension, you get the information. So step 1 is you choose what you want to create. You go into the superconscious field from an unlimited possibility. You choose what you want to create. You choose what you love. Then we create that structural tension. Where are you now? We notice, well, when you create that creative tension between those 2 points, what we do is we're creating this environment where all of these parts and aspects want to come up and stop you. You know, it's the negative thoughts and feelings. It's the egoic agenda, right? All of this psychological tension, it comes up. This is the aspects of you, the dormant memories, the traumatic memories, your part personalities, all of them. It all comes up into the field, the active experience. When we invite all of the aspects up, so you might have, you know, dormant memory here, dormant memory here, dormant memory here, traumatic memory, you know, we're just inviting them to be present in our energy field. We invite them to be present. We do that by creating the structural tension. With the recode, what we're actually doing is I'm connecting into the superconscious field. And with the information about what you're choosing to create, remember, in the superconscious field, it's just unlimited information. We get that information, right? This is what the main personality is wanting to create. So with the information of your desired reality, Yeah. This is what it wants to move towards, right? This is your desired reality. This is what we want. This is where we're going. This is what we're choosing to create as a conscious being. We get the information. Through the recode, we're actually informing all of these parts and aspects. We inform them of the treatment process. So we teach them how to treat themselves, and we inform them of the information of the desired reality, where we're moving towards. We inform all aspects that it's safe to do so. It's actually in benefiting the main personality. And we actually invite those parts and aspects to join the main personality in this creation. Now we do that by neutralizing the emotion. There's always an emotion that triggers, right? The unconscious is feelings, is emotions. So when we neutralize the emotions or of a traumatic memory, this aspect becomes wisdom. You can call upon this memory at any time, right? It's still part of you. It just doesn't have control over you, power over you anymore. Coming back to power. We let our egoic agenda have power over us. We say, oh, I'm just like that. I'm just really bad with relationships. I'm just really bad with money. I can never get what I want. So we create these stories because these aspects are so loud and they keep us living through them, because the egoic agenda doesn't want to die. These aspects don't want to die. They want survival as well, just like every single thing else out in this world. It seeks survival. But when we work with all aspects of yourself, it's a very gentle process. It's nurturing. It's acknowledging that this is you and it's okay to be you. We're just changing the information that these aspects have so that they can join the main personality and be in flow, work with you in flow instead of against you, because we've evolved. We're having a new experience. It's 2022. It's not the 1800s anymore. It's not before Christ. We're not cavemen. We're in this modern world. This is where creator, this is where we have evolved to. The humans have evolved. This is evolution. We're always moving forward. We're always creating. So when we do the recode, we remove that resistance, the emotions that stop you. And you can, step 5 is taking a line to action. Because you're in alignment with what you choose, what you love, and the parts and aspects are no longer stopping you, it's just easy to flow. It's easy to just move towards your creation. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 in the chat box if this makes sense. It's a big process. I know it might be a little bit scary. That's okay. I'm going to work with you really gently. I'm going to work with you and your superconscious, and you are in control. You are always in control. You have the power. I am a conduit. I allow the energy to flow through me, right? So you're actually creating the change. I am just holding you in the creative structure. And this is why you need a coach, because we're blind to all of this, because it's part of us, it's comfortable, it doesn't want to change. And so you really need someone outside of your situation to hold you to your highest potential, hold you in the creative structure, and call you out on your bullshit So many times in my client calls, I have to give some tough love, call people out on their bullshit, call people out on their egoic agenda, because we're unable to see it ourselves. Easy. And how much have you learned about yourselves just in these last 4 days? Just by getting into the creative structure, having that conversation with the coach, having those, the questions that aren't normally asked of you. I will ask more of you than you will ask of yourself. And that's where growth lies. That's where massive transformation happens. So I like to explain, I really want to get stuck into it with, we're already quite a way through, but really excited to actually give you this experience. And I do really advise you to go through the entire, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. If you haven't done so, you can still do this process, but the best experience is if you go through all 4 days, that because it's incremental, it builds on the next, right? We've built the foundations, it builds on the next. But I will explain the treatment process, and that's going to inform your aspect of how to treat itself, right? So we're actually teaching ourselves how to treat ourselves. This is all self-work. So I like to say the treatment process is like this river of desire, right? And your land of plenty, or everything you dream and dream to create, is at the end of this river. And as you flow through the current of the river, through your current reality, you notice that every now and then there's this big boulder in the way, or a dam or obstruction. There's something that gets in the way. Your egoic agenda, right? It gets in the way. But this is your creation. And so your superconscious knows exactly why you put that boulder there. You realize that that boulder was useful at some point. The dam was useful. It played a role. It was useful. But now we want to actually continue to flow. So we get to treat all of the parts and aspects that stop us from flowing. And we do that by remembering exactly how we put it there. And so by remembering how we put it there, we know how to take it away. And that's exactly what you do. The superconscious, with every instruction, knows exactly how to take all of the boulders and the obstruction and everything, and it just deconstructs it. And so that you can easily continue to flow through to your end results with ease, knowing that any other boulder or obstruction that gets in the way, you can easily treat it and move it, and you get to flow towards your creation. So this is the treatment process, and you only need to hear this once. Now, I'm going to talk to your subconscious like it's a person. There's no need for you to respond. And what we actually find is that if the boulder is too great, if there's too many layers and it's too big, and the identity it doesn't feel safe to take it all away all at once, what we do is we allow you to just chisel away the perfect and safest amount for this session, and then allow subsequent sessions to chisel away that boulder like a little bit at a time, so it's safe, right? If that's what needs to happen, then that will happen for you. So I want you to, if you have a piece of paper, or you can write it in the chat box or the comment section, or but if you can write it down, I want you to make a choice, something that you feel stuck in right now. What is a choice? What's something you would love to create? Now you can actually choose one of the 4 core orientational choices. So I choose to live a life I love. I choose to be healthy and vital. I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life. and I choose to live my true nature and purpose. I just want you to choose a choice. Choose one of the 4 core if you can't think of a personal one right now. But think of something that, you know, you're stuck in. Let me know when you've got your choice. I'm going to go through this. So when you've got your choice, I just want you to we want to create the 2 points. So you've got your choice. I want you to ask yourself, where am I now in comparison to that? Right? Just where you are now, you know, anything that comes up, you know, it could be positive, it could be negative, whatever it is. Where are you now in that journey? What is in your current reality? What's showing up in your current reality right now? What's showing up? So we're just creating 2 points right now. 2 points. What you choose to create and where you are now. You know, you might be, I don't have that much money. I'm not living a life that I love. I'm sick. I'm this. I'm, you know, whatever it is, just bring that up now and create that structural tension. Okay. So I'll bring up the 5 steps. So we want to create that structural tension. Then we want to create that emotion. So how does it feel to be in this creative tension? How does it feel? What do you think about it? What are your thoughts about this creative tension? What do you think? Now, I actually just want you to step into this end result. Step into having it now. Imagine and you can close your eyes if you want to, and just imagine that you have it now. Just want you to notice how that feels. How does it feel if you were to just have it now? And just do your best to get into that feeling. Do your best to notice what it feels like now. Just to have it now in your desired reality. You're there already. And write down what that feels like. You know, it might be exciting. It might be, you might feel love, expansion. You might feel light, happy, playful. Whatever it is, like what would it feel like to actually have that creation? And when you set up that structure, you notice, okay, well, this is where I am. How does that feel? And what we're doing is we're creating 2 emotional set points. So allowing yourself to actually experience what that feels like to have it is changing that balance point. You're allowing yourself to just feel it for the sake of feeling it, to love it. So just allow yourself to do that. Okay, we're going to go through this a little bit quicker. So where are you now? How does it feel to be where you are now? How does it feel? And I want to ask yourself, what is your definition of yourself? How do you see yourself in this situation? How do you define yourself? You might think of, you know, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I don't know enough. I don't know how, you know, how do you define yourself in this situation? It could be, you know, some positives. How do you define yourself? And how do you define others? How do you see others? and whatever comes up for you, if you've got questions about what that means, just whatever it is, it's perfect. Whatever comes up is exactly what's meant to come up. And just trust yourself. How do you define others? You know, maybe others are more capable, they can have success, you know, others are luckier, you know, whatever it is, what does that mean to you how do you define others? And how do you define the world? What's your definition about the world? The world is hard, the world's cruel, there's so much opportunity in the world. How do you define the world? And so we're just unpacking the truth here. We're just noticing what's in your active experience, what's here. And I just want you to ask yourself, do you have any assumptions? Are there any assumptions when you see yourself in this creative structure, when we create that tension? What are the assumptions? What are you assuming? What are any assumptions? And how do you deal with those assumptions? How do you deal with it? So where's the power? Where are you placing the power? Is the power in this assumption? Is there a limiting belief in there? An egoic agenda? Just uncovering some of these things. Where's the power? And do you really believe what you're telling yourself? Do you really believe it? And if you drop into the negative emotion, the negative perception about this assumption and how you deal with it, what action is it being motivated by? And what's the end result of this? What's the outcome of this? What's the outcome if you believe all of this? And something completely unrelated, what do you really love? And just write down the emotion of what you really love, completely unrelated. What do you love? Something that you love. Totally unrelated to the above, what we've just talked about. Do you notice anything obvious? Is there anything obvious that you notice? Is there anything that has come up for you that you didn't see before? I just want you to sit with that for a minute. And how does that feel? And I just want you to come back to this structure of what are you choosing to create and where are you now? I want you to really ask yourself, what does it feel like right now? What am I experiencing right now? What are the emotions I'm experiencing? And you might have unpacked a few of those. And what would someone have to believe to have this experience right now, to not be where they want to be? What would someone have to believe if this were true? This was their reality. What would they have to believe that was true? That I can't do it, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I don't know how, that I can't have the success, right? So I just want you to put a circle around all of that resistance. Put a circle just energetically or physically, draw a circle around all of that, all the structure, all that resistance, everything that's come up. And I want you to give it a rating out of 10. What's your resistance out of 10? So 10 is totally stuck, can't move. And 0 is in flow. So between 0 and 10, whereabouts are you? What's this resistance? Is it 10 out of 10? Can't move, can't take the action. It's overwhelming. I can't do this. Or is it maybe a 5? I've got some momentum. There's some, I'm moving towards it, but there's still a few things that obviously you've just unpacked some stuff, that might be, maybe a 5 or whatever it is. And just pop it in the chat box and the comment section of, even if you're on the replay, just write it in there. All right. And we're actually going to go into the recode process. So after you've got your number, I just want you to take a few breaths. I want you to be somewhere where you're not holding your phone, you're not holding anything. You're just listening to my voice. If you're seated or lying down, that's fine. But just make sure nothing is crossed. So uncross your legs, uncross your arms. And I like to have my palms open just on my lap. It's in that open to receive position. And just let me know when you're ready and just take a few breaths. And just be completely present in this moment right now. Just allow yourself to be completely present, closing your eyes down now. And just choose to get the most out of this experience. Being present right now, just allowing your breath to guide you, to ground you, and to completely relax every cell in your body. Surrendering to the present moment right now, right here. You just find yourself going deeper into relaxation. And with every breath, it relaxes you more and more and more. And as you breathe, you feel your heartbeat. And every time you feel your heartbeat, it sends this signal of light energy throughout your entire body like waves. And every time you breathe, your heart beats. And every time your heart beats, you expand this energy outside of you. So you're engulfed in this beautiful energy of light. And you imagine yourself expanding further and further. So it's filling the entire room that you're in. And as you expand further and further and further out into the universe, you continue to expand your energy. So it's covering the entire street and town that you're in, the continent and country, over the seas, and engulfing the entire planet. Now with your light energy touching every human being and every living creature as it goes. And now you see yourself expanding all the way out past the moon and the local planets and the sun. And just continue to expand your energy further and further and further as it can go. And just feel this connection into your superconscious field. And as you feel this expansive connection into the field, I just want you to, in your mind, I want you to give me permission to connect to your superconscious. So you can just think, I give Amber permission to connect to my superconscious. And I'll just get there energetically. Yeah, I can feel it. So a few of you on. And I, Amber, allow myself to be a pure and clear conduit in connection to all that exists, organic light source energy, all universal powers, enlightened beings and guardians. I request for this creation to be in your highest good. And now confirm access to divine matrix and protection, divine guidance and blessings, upgraded the DNA blueprint, activation of supportive healing forces, access to healing protective words of power, activation of organic light energy portals. Thank you. Permissions are granted. Yes. Now I speak to the collective as you, but I speak directly to your superconscious, and I will refer to you as a collective. Superconscious, are you there? Yes, thank you. Superconscious, do you see this true end result, this choice, this desire of which you choose to create? Just see this now. Yes. I'm just noticing where you are now. Superconscious, please create the perfect treatment plan for this creation. And I use muscle testing to get the information. Superconscious, I just want to tag all parts and aspects coming onto the active experience now. Just tagging all dormant memories, all aspects. Superconscious, please inform all aspects of the treatment process, the river of desire, just informing of all metaphors. Superconscious, please inform all parts of the advantages of treatment to get more satisfaction and less pain, to stop intrusions and takeovers, to stop losing time, so that all parts and aspects can join the main personality and create more flow. Superconscious, to all parts and aspects agree to be on the treatment team today. And just knowing that if the treatment is, if the resistance is too great to treat, then you can just chip off the perfect amount in the perfect way for this session. Superconscious, all parts agree to join the treatment team today. Yes, thank you. Superconscious, I just want you to treat all fear. I want you to treat all fear of failure. Just treating any fear of judgment. Superconscious, I just want you to treat all family history, the fear of failure. Just want you to treat the original event, the ancestral lineage. Please do a massive change history and everything needed in the perfect way and the perfect order on all fear. Thank you. Superconscious, there's a fear of being alone Thank you. Superconscious, just treating the fear of having more than others, and any guilt, shame around having more than others. Superconscious, I just want you to treat all the secondary intentions, all the other intention structures that aren't this true end result. Just want to treat all of them in the perfect way, just treating any overwhelm, just treating overwhelm. Yeah. Superconscious, I just want you to treat all part personalities. I want you to treat the protector controller aspect, the part of you that is just trying to protect you. Just won't allow you to go for something that it can't control or it's never experienced before. Just want to treat this part personality in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history on the protector controller aspect. Thank you. Superconscious, I just want you to treat that inner child. The aspect that just wants everything the same, that's operating at this childish agenda. The inner child that just wants everything all at once, wants to feel love. I just want to treat exactly what your inner child needs right now. I just want you to give yourself that love. Hold and nurture that younger version of yourself. Subconscious, I just want to treat the aspect that is wounded, that is hurt, that is hurting, that is holding on to this hurt, feels wounded. Superconscious, I just want to treat the aspect that feels helpless. Stuck, afraid, helpless, disempowered. Just want to treat all aspects of disempowered. Superconscious, just want to treat all of these emotions, just treating all the emotions in the active experience. I just want to reinforce with the positive, supporting emotions of empowerment, empowering yourself, powerful, freedom, whole, peace, acceptance. Just want to reinforce with appreciated, supported, loved, nurtured, worthy, successful. Let's do a massive change history. Just everything else needed to this. Thank you. Superconscious, I just want to treat any parts and aspects that are not allowing yourself to feel this, to feel not allowing. You're not allowed. It's an aspect that is not allowed. It's a rule. I'm not allowed to have this. I'm not allowed to feel this. Superconscious, I just want you to treat the original event, original timeline, where you first learned that it wasn't safe to have what you love. Just want to treat the aspect that thinks it's selfish to have what I love. Superconscious, can you just reinforce and see that when you create what you love, you give permission to everyone else to go for what they love as well. It's this ripple effect. And when you deny yourself of having what you love, you set that example for others, to your children, your friends, family. Just want to treat all of this in the perfect way, in the perfect order. Thank you. Let's do a massive change history. Superconscious, I just want to treat the aspect that feels trapped, that feels like they've sacrificed everything. They're in overwhelm. They're trapped. They're unable to let go. Superconscious, I just want you to treat all of this in the perfect way, in the perfect order. I just want to treat all judgment on this, all judgment of yourself, all judgment from others, all judgment. Little massive change history. Thank you. Superconscious, I just want you to treat all beliefs that are holding you back, all beliefs about yourself. I want you to treat all beliefs and all rules, all definitions about yourself. Superconscious, please treat all rules and definitions and all beliefs about others. And just treat all resistance, all definitions, rules and beliefs about the world that limits you to the creation. Superconscious, I just want you to do a sentence procedure. I just want you to treat all sentences until they are true to you. I deserve this end result. I commit to this end result. I choose and trust this end result. I will create this end result. I am this end result. Let's do a massive change history on all of this. Thank you. Superconscious, just accessing all levels of advanced consciousness, advanced dimensions, the guardians and enlightened beings. I, Amber, request the removal and cancellation of the negative belief and program that I can't have what I want, created in the theta state. Confirm closure and cancellation of all signals of fear, denial, and stress associated with the negative belief I can't have what I want, what I love, relating to the hormones cortisol, histamines, nicotines, norepinephrine. Thank you. And I confirm opening a creation of new signals of love and happiness to create and download the new belief I'm the predominant creative force in my life, and I can have and create anything I love, relating to the hormones dopamine, oxytocin, vasopressin, growth hormone. I confirm that this negative belief, the failure and denial programs, are replaced with the new downloaded belief I can create anything I love, including success programs and openness to truth in your DNA and superconscious. Superconscious, just activate this reprogram, just sending energy to your brow chakra. And just repeat these words in your head or aloud. I and your name. Choose to release this negative belief that I can't have what I love, including failure and denial programs relating to all time, space, and realities, including failure and denial programs relating to all time, space, and realities. And I choose to replace the new belief I create anything I love. Solidified in your superconscious and DNA. And I confirm this new belief is dominant in my spiritual soul and blueprint. And I choose to live in oneness with humanity from this point forward. Superconscious, I just want you to treat all lower chakras, the fear, the shame, the guilt. Just want to treat all the lower chakras. And I request healing sound frequencies to realign and reconnect to your DNA, RNA, chromosomes, wormholes, nucleotides, hypercommunication. And I request the purification and cleansing process of pure organic light dissolve all negative energies and attachments. And I request closure and disabling of harmful portals, gateways, channels, stargates, and firewalls, accessing and siphoning your soul and energy life force. I confirm the etheric, astral, mental, and causal light bodies are cleansed and strengthened, and all supportive healing forces are activated and connected to the organic pure source energy. I ask the guardians and angels for blessings upon you for all the things you require to obtain self-freedom and sovereignty. I ask that they guide and protect you and lead you on a path of empowerment to assist the evolution of your soul and humanity. And I ask that treatment and creation may continue throughout this time, and that you may always know that you're of divine infinite worth and holds the power of choice for your transformation. Superconscious, just connecting into your I am presence. Choose to reset your micro oscillation to 9, 999, 999, 999. So be it, so it is. I now bear witness to this completion of this creation. Superconscious, just grounding all the parts, aspects, memories that we've touched on today, and just connecting them back into the matrix of the universe, all that is. And just taking a few breaths, I confirm these requests have taken place. And just allow yourself to just take a few breaths, allowing your waking consciousness to return into your physical vessel, into your body. And just taking another couple of deep breaths. And when you're ready, you can just slowly wriggle your toes and your fingers, rubbing your palms together. If you need to, you can cup your palms to your eyes as you open your eyes and return to the call. And let me know how you're going. Now, Facebook and Instagram, I can't see your comments, but if you're on Zoom, please let me know now, how are you feeling? And where is your resistance number now to this choice? Notice how you feel. Yeah, you might feel like it's come down. Let me know in the chat box and comments. It might be hard to notice, but a number exactly, but just do your best. How does it feel when you choose this end result? How does it feel now? What was your experience? Let me know if you, on the replay as well and or live, like let me know what you experienced through that process. Did you feel any sensations in your body? What was your experience? Just notice that for yourself. Notice how it was. You might feel a bit lighter. You might feel like, oh, it just is. It's just possible. Yeah. Did you feel your energy? Some comments coming in. Had an amazing energy during the recode. I actually saw a human shadow in a tunnel of light and waves of energy. Wow. Had intrusive thoughts as well. Definitely feel lighter. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. You're actually opening your shadow self, all parts and aspects of you to actually come come into the active experience. And I just want you to ask yourself, what's obvious now? What's obvious? So feeling heat in the palms of your hand. Yeah, that's energy. That's your energy. You might feel tingling sensations in your body, or heat, hot or cold. Just notice how it showed up for you. What shifted, what changed, what's obvious now, and what's your next obvious action? What's easy now? What feels like it's just in flow for you to be able to move forward with? What's your next obvious action? To take action, yeah. And how does it feel to actually take that action? Does it feel different? Does it feel easier? It's obvious, lighter. How does it feel to now think about that next action? Yeah, to actually complete your to-do list. Yeah, we call it the to-do list in this work, because the to-do list is a to-do list. It's already done. It's ta-da, done. Yeah, and how does it feel now to think about not wasting time? You don't want to waste time, or yeah, actually complete things. How does it feel to just take that action towards that? Yeah. So I'm gonna leave you with this nourishing feeling. You might want to go and get some grounding. You might drink a lot of water. Drink water, please. Drink plenty of water, and go get some grounding. Ground your energies back into your body, because we've been operating up here, right? And so you might feel a little bit different. It might take time to really calibrate and reconnect into yourself, but I just want you to nurture yourself and notice how it feels different. Okay, thank you so much for joining me on this Recode journey and the last 4 days. I'm really excited to bring tomorrow and the final day. If you need to watch, the replays again, catch up, you can go back to the replays and watch day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Tomorrow, it's the final day. It's Friday. It's day 5. You've made it so far. So proud of you. And tomorrow I'm going to take you through another process, and that will align you. It would be this magnetic alignment to take action. What's your next steps? How can I support you in your journey moving forward? I'm going to give you an action plan tool to allow you to actually continue in the creative structure. So you've got to be on for day 5. It's going to be great. I'm going to hold you in the creative structure and give you a plan to move forward for the next 12 months. So thank you so much for joining on Facebook, Instagram. Appreciate you all so much. Remember the 5 steps. They are literally the magic key to creating a life that you love. And thank you for my beautiful Zoomers for being present, and really looking forward, really excited for day 5 to be wrapping up tomorrow. So have a wonderful day. I know it's Good Friday tomorrow. It's Easter, coming into Easter, so a lot of you have got the day off. So hopefully we'll have you all tuning in and tuning in live, and I get to see some of your faces on the Zoom those that have been on Facebook or Instagram. Be great to have you on the Zoom so we can actually all get together and have a recap of the entire 5 days. So amazing. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.